What's up everybody, BigSweetC here with you. Got a special little video for you today. Today I want to talk about Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Now, it's been out for a little while. It came out back in November. So it's been out for about 3 months now, almost 4 months now. And I'm just now getting a chance to play it. If you happen to have Game Pass, it is on Game Pass on your Xbox. It does have the bump up, better version if you happen to be on PS5 or Xbox Series XS, X or S, if you will. So it is available across all platforms, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit because, well, the truth is, I don't know, man. Not thoroughly impressed, to be honest with you. I have been a huge spokesman for Destiny 2 since it came out, even though everybody and their mom seemed to trash it when it first came out. And yes, while some people did say that the Armor 2.0 expansion that came out in year 2 was much better, this one, in my opinion, I think is finally the one where it's like, okay, maybe they're running out of ideas, maybe they're just not getting it done anymore, and maybe they're kind of bored with it themselves, because the truth is, I didn't really have that much fun playing this game, and I want to say that the campaign wasn't fun. There were good moments. I mean, it is a standard first-person shooter Destiny 2 type game, so it is fun, but for whatever reason, this one seems a lot different to me, mostly because the story itself is almost verbatim a copy of Forsaken. So if you played Forsaken already, you kind of know how the game plays out. You kind of find a guy who needs some help. He then gives you missions to go hunt these people down, and that's the completion of the missions. You know, like so if you don't know, Beyond Light is a major expansion for Destiny 2, first-person shooter game developed by Bungie, released on November 10th of 2020 as the 5th expansion of Destiny 2. In this one, players travel to Jupiter's icy moon Europa to confront the fallen Kel Aramis, who plans to use the power of the darkness to save her people and take revenge on the Traveler back on Earth, as she and many Fallen believe that the Traveler had abandoned them before the golden age of humanity. The player's Guardian also obtains this new darkness-based power as a subclass called Stasis, which features new ice-based abilities. In the expansion sees a return of the Exo Stranger from the original Destiny's campaign, as well as Varix from the original game's House of Wolves expansion, both of which guide the Guardian on Europa. Furthermore, Beyond Light adds other content across the game, including missions, player versus environment locations, player gear, weaponry, and a raid. Beyond Light is the first expansion of Destiny 2 to be released on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S platforms. Bungie described this expansion as the beginning of a new era for the Destiny franchise. So, if you haven't played it in a while, they did take away a bunch of planets. So, Mercury, Io, Mars, the Moon, those are all gone. The Leviathan ship is now gone, so that raid is now gone. And it's been replaced by Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. It's okay. It's kind of a cool level. It's a gigantic map, and there's a lot to explore. But I mean, it's just kind of a combination of the previous maps. So you kind of got the icy stuff with the moon, although there's no hive on there. You got the Pyramidian stuff with Io from before, and then it's just kind of like it kind of has Fallen and it has Vex from the other two on there, and you kind of run into these monsters as you go along. The story is okay, as I was saying before. It does bring back the Exo Stranger from the original Destiny. If you don't remember who she was, she's this kind of like mysterious figure. I thought it was a guy originally, but it doesn't matter. Mysterious figure who, as you're about to enter one of the hive temples on the moon, she comes out and she tells you this story about the light and the darkness and all this stuff, and she promises to help you, and she kind of puts you on your path, and then she kind of disappears and you never really hear from her again. And so a lot of people were like, what the F? What happened to this Exo stranger? Well, come to find out, it's time to find out about her now. She's back. She's been harnessing the power of darkness through her exoskeleton. Now she's come to find out she's been looking for different guardians in different timelines that allow her to beat back this Aramis character who's been using the darkness to basically destroy the Traveler and wipe out the light throughout the galaxy. She finally comes to a timeline where she meets you, and this timeline gives her hope that we can actually beat the light back and save the Traveler. So, kind of a little interesting take. You do find out a little bit of backstory about who she was and who created her, and he comes back. Apparently, Clovis Bray from Mercury, the old water planet, Clovis Bay. He's got himself set up here before, and you find out a lot of backstory on him and the exoskeletons in general. It also returns Varix. Varix was the kind of the commander of the Prison of Elders. He was part of the House of Wolves expansion, which I think was the first expansion, maybe the second expansion from the original Destiny. And he's an Elixni, kind of the four-armed creature guys, although two of his arms were cut off and replaced with robotic arms. So that's how you know that it's Varix. He's also the one that kind of opened up the Prison of Elders, the whole breakaway, the whole breakout of all the people from the Prison of Elders, which eventually leads to Cade's death. That's actually started by Varix, and so he's kind of come back in it before, but he finally returns as a actual character you can communicate with now in this DLC. The armor has kind of been tampered with a little bit as well. Your Ghost now has modifications you can do. The new subclasses have modifications you can add to them, which it kind of looks like everybody has the same power, the same subclass, regardless of whether you're a Warlock, a Hunter, or a Titan. But the different mods that you attach to it are basically how you kind of personalize it, if you will. The light level, the power level, has been raised to 1250 with a cap of 1060 if you have the full season plus 10 benefit. And the new areas, they kind of slimmed them down. Cosmodrome now has 2 places you can enter. So there's Earth, there's Europa. Tangled Shore is still there with all the Forsaken stuff. Even Uldren Solve is returned, and so I'm curious to see if maybe something goes on about that. Right now, Season of the Hunt is just about to wrap up, I believe, depending on when you're seeing this. On February 9th of 2021 is when Season 13 comes out, Season of the Chosen. So if you are looking to get into it, now would be a good time, because you're going to basically be starting fresh with everybody. But as I was saying before, it just seems different. It doesn't have the flair to it as much, and I think a lot of the reason is they seem to have made this game almost unplayable for like solo players. I was trying to think of like a good term for this, but they took the RPG aspect out of the MMO RPG, where if you have a lot of friends that play with you, it's actually probably pretty fun, because it's still generally got the spirit of Destiny 2 there, and the first-person shooter aspect, and the certain puzzles, the certain ways that you have to fight the enemies, the boss fights, and stuff like that. It's still, the core is still there, but they've risen the light level so much, and for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be based on where you're at as a character anymore. So I was going in there, and basically every new mission that I went on, I was at least 100 power below, so it was even more of a grind than it normally is, because I had to take everything so much slower so I wouldn't get swarmed with enemies and just blown to bits. Even then, there were a couple of times where I had to take it so slowly because I'd take one shot, I'd be down to one hit left, and I would have to run away and kind of back out until my shield regenerated again. And if I took 2 hits, boom, boom, game over, and I had to start all over. They've also, now this I actually, if I remember correctly, this was gone after last year. There's no like check marks in the boss fights, so you don't like start at like 3/4 as opposed to full strength. You just start back over from full strength now. So it was actually kind of really, really difficult, and I know everybody, oh, just get good. But the truth is, if you're playing by yourself, you could have 100 kajillion billion of the easiest enemies out there, and there's just so many of them that you're just not going to be able to defend yourself from all of them. And so that, I mean, that it does in a way kind of up the challenge, which is kind of nice, but this is not really a challenge game. Like, I expect a challenge from a Dark Souls or a Sekiro or a Bloodborne. I don't necessarily expect a challenge from the enemies as much as the way you fight the enemies, so to speak, if that makes any sense. So the enemies themselves, in my opinion, in the type of game like this, should probably go down fairly easy, but how you break their shield or how you open up the easier way to kill them is the how you fight in a game like this, in my opinion. It actually seemed really, really good up until this one specifically, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. The bonus ability, the stasis ability, is kind of cool. Not all that, it's not super special to where it makes me want to go out and like play it all the time again just to kind of learn what it is. It's a bit different, so there's like 2 parts to it. You freeze your enemy and then you blow them up. You freeze your enemy and then you blow them up. So it's a little different than just like having a weapon that's just super powerful, like a super, super powerful superpower. Can I say super any more times in a row? So it's a bit different. I do like the idea of trying to kind of make it a little bit different, but it just seems like they didn't go all the way with it. And like I said, if I had like a dedicated group to play with, probably fun to play. But playing by myself, I kind of get grinded out a lot quicker, I feel like, than I have with Destiny previously. So for $39.99, to be honest with you, I'm probably passing. I'm probably not going to pay the full $40. You can get it on sale, maybe half off, maybe $10 on a super awesome like Steam sale discount or whatever. Or in like my case, you happen to have Game Pass and it comes free on Game Pass. I would absolutely give it a try, play it every once in a while. But it's one of those games where, especially now, to the point where the power level has gotten, you pretty much have to keep playing this game consistently for it to really hold any value. Whereas I, used to be able to just kind of like pick it up when the new expansion came out or a couple of months down the road after I finally got the expansion. And I could still jump right into it and not have to like, be bored with the grind of it. Because I do generally like grinding games, finding loot and stuff like that. And this one, I don't know. It just didn't seem to have the same kick. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I haven't gotten a chance to experience everything. Maybe because I haven't really played with anybody outside of a couple of minutes here and there. Because I don't really know anybody that still plays it other than my man Jonathan Klossel and Devil Rose Studio. But maybe if we get more people involved and more people come around to play it again, maybe it'll go back to being one of my more favorite games to play. But to be honest with you, I was pretty kind of disappointed with with Beyond Light, and that's sad for me to say because I've been such a strong proponent of Destiny 2 since its very controversial release. So, but either way, let me know what you guys think. Do myself a favor, hit that like button, hit that sub button, drop them comments below whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it. Tell me why. Generally curious as to what the word is on the street. And as always, be sure to hit that like button, sub button, and that notification bell next to it so you know when I do drop a new video or go live. Head on over to Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit up that follow over at BigSweetC as well so you get all the sweetness experience. And support your boy. Either way, that's going to do it for this one. BigSweetC, that's me. Wishing YouTube, that's you. Wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it might be. Long as you're watching, I'm wishing you a wonderful watching time. Sweetness, signing off. Peace.